Hello, hi, it's Pearl again, and today I'm doing a little video on letting go. And it's one of those things that in spiritual practice, we could sometimes say that every profound spiritual practice is really about letting go. And sometimes all I do, like when I'm meditating or working on things, is just to say, let go, let go, let go, let go. And a very, I don't know, maybe sugary way of saying it is the old adage, if you love something, set it free, and if it comes back to you, it's yours forever. And if it doesn't come back to you, then it was never yours in the first place. So that letting go, it doesn't just mean walking away. It doesn't just mean saying goodbye. It doesn't mean quitting at all. Letting go can be so much more than that. And the reason I feel called to talk about this is I watched a film yesterday. It was actually called Dog with Channing Tatum, and it was about people and animals who are suffering from PTSD and from going through trauma. And I think a lot of us are experiencing that after the pandemic and being heroes. We've been heroes. We've done all the things that we were supposed to do. We've survived. We've got to this point, and we have battle fatigue. We're exhausted. And sometimes you got to know when to let go of who you've been or how you've been, or even all those kind of ways of protecting ourselves that we've developed over the last 2 years, 3 years, or our whole lives. And sadly, in this film, there's a lot of talk about suicide. And this week as well on LinkedIn, there's been a lot of talk about suicide. And I find myself wondering if that has got anything to do with this time, the end of August, September next week, and people taking holidays and then going back to work. And I know how I felt when last time I was working a really full-time job, that sometimes when I was going back to work, I had a sense of dread. Or even if I didn't have that sense of dread, when I went back in, I suddenly got this really overpowering feeling of this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. This is not right for me anymore. I shouldn't be here anymore. And of course, what a lot of us do when we have that feeling, when we go back to something, back to school, back to work, is we start to numb and we say, oh, get over it, just get on with it. We've all got to, pull our bootstraps up and get on with it. And there's been an awful lot of that kind of lecturing from various people about the kind of crisis that we find ourselves in, the difficulties we find ourselves in. And people who clearly don't know any better, say things like we need to be more resilient, we need to just get on with it, we need to make some more money, or don't put the heating on, or all these other things. And sometimes you hear these things, you think, I don't think these people really understand what the problem is at all. That we can't be more resilient because we've used up all our resilience. That we actually need time to recover. We need time to put things down and rehabilitate. To stop trying to deal with the same problems, deal with the same battles, stop trying to muscle through because we've broken ourselves, because we are a bit broken. And another great spiritual adage is, we're not broken, we're just not finished yet. And I know myself, I've been broken time and time again over the last couple of years. And so I find myself thinking about this idea of letting go. And the most important thing I can say is, if you're thinking about letting go and you feel like you have to muscle through, and that takes you to a place where you're thinking about self-harm, you're thinking about suicide, I think you know the answer. You know that you can't keep picking up that weight. You can't keep picking up the same baggage. You can't keep carrying the load. And you have to stop and you have to ask for help. You have to let go and say, no, I have to change my life. And if I have to quit the job, if it's the choice between the job and me, I'll let go of the job. I don't think anybody sensible would really hold on to the baggage that's pulling them down, that's making them drown. It's a habit. It's a habit of holding on to something that's pulling you down, that's dragging you down, and you have to let go. You just have to let go. And another way that I meditate sometimes when I go to bed and I'm trying to sleep, I'm thinking about all these challenges in my life, difficulties, and I think, one by one or all together, imagining it like a big rucksack that I used to carry, I just say, put it all down. Put down all the problems. Put down, when you go to bed, let go of everything. Let go of all your problems. Because if they're real, or even if they're not, you can pick them up again in the morning. Okay? You can put them down, you get into your bed, and you say, you know what? Put it down for tonight. I've put it down while I go to sleep. And I'll pick it all up again tomorrow if I must do. But I need to let it go for now. And the other way of letting go is to release and let go of how we think things should be, how we kind of figure our lives are going to go, how we figure our business is going to go. And somebody contacted me this week about an accountability program. I thought, do I need an accountability program? I thought, you know what I really need to do is, if I want an accountability program, I need to decide what I want to do. Do I want to spend time writing? Do I want to spend time working on another part of my business? Good questions. But sometimes we've set up these goals. We've set up an idea of how our business is going to run, or what success means for us, or how it's all going to pan out. And because we're holding on so tight to that, we're not seeing all the other possibilities. We're not seeing all the other potential. And that certainly happened to me, like this week, with certain things I've been working on, that I've been working on for a really long time. And I go and look at it again and I think, I know it's not right, like a cover for my book. Look at it again. It's just, I've got the hard copy. I'm like, it is still not right. Still not right. And part of me wants to just press the button and print it, say, right, that's it. But in my heart, I know the covers are wrong. I know this is not the right cover, and I know it's not good enough. And so I go back to the drawing board and I look at it and I look at all the other options. And even under my bed, there's another draft of this same book. Like, for me, sometimes a book, the cover's the first thought, and sometimes it's like, it's just wrong. And I look back at like all the different versions of this cover that I've created, and I look at it and I think, what if I just did the way I had it in the first place, but I took that bit away? And I look at it and I think, yeah, that's it. That's the cover. That's it. And it's like one step from the first place I started. But I've changed it this way, and I thought it had to be this way. And I thought, no, it's like moving the furniture around, You think, I was so close that first one, but I just kept changing it. And the second I let go of, I thought the cover needed to be like gold. And it just never worked. And I looked at it and I go, what about that blue cover I did right at the beginning? And it's just perfect. And I go, okay, that works. And I just feel it as I'm putting it through, as I'm finishing it all off. I think, that's the one. That's the one. That's the right one. But sometimes we have to let go of this idea that we have, that things have to be a certain way, to see other possibilities. And so in letting go, we're not quitting, we're not failing. Sometimes we're taking a break. Sometimes we're letting go of one perspective. Ooh, nice little breeze there. Because unless we let go of that single perspective, that one idea, we can't see all the other perspectives. And sometimes just walking away means we can turn around and look back and oh yeah, that's so obvious. That's the way it should be. And of course, the other thing about letting go is we set ourselves free and we set other people free. And sometimes we're in a relationship, say an amazing, amazing romantic relationship. And when we set ourselves free, when we hold it lightly, we don't try to hold on to anybody. We just let them be free, and we let ourselves be free, and we stop trying to put labels on things and guidelines and boundaries and, well, boundaries are good, but, made up boundaries, not real ones, oh, I have to do this. Oh, it has to be this way. And we kind of kill that beautiful relationship because we're trying to sort of write it down. We're trying to make it a contract. And I suppose that's the thing about, marriage or certain relationships. It gets to a point where you think, you know what, I'm trying to control this so much, and I'm not allowing this wonderful thing to be what it can be. And I remember my ex-boyfriend said to me once when we were having issues, and he said, you know what? He said, this was absolutely perfect before you started calling it a relationship. When we didn't call it anything, it was just perfect. And he was right. It didn't mean that there weren't real problems and real things we had to figure out. But sometimes when we hold on to things, we're trying to hold on to a forced version of something instead of just letting it be what it is and letting it be free. And the best thing, I think the best way I can describe this and explain this, and the way I think of it for myself is really, if you look at this and you see these bracelets and you see this hand, and so sometimes you let go and you lose something, and you have to lose it because it's not yours to keep. Sometimes things just stay around because that's the way they're designed, and that's okay. But even if I was to take those bracelets off and I was to let go of them, I wouldn't be losing anything that was really me. It's just attachment, something, a little thing. And nothing could take away the memory of that. Oh, it's getting a bit blowy out here. A little bit of wind effect going on. But with this hand, no matter how wide I open it, no matter how much I let go, I can't let go of my hand. Because that's me. That's part of me. So when we release and we let go, we can't lose ourselves. And sometimes it's only in that releasing and letting go that we understand who we are, what we are. But it's having the courage to let go and see what remains. Having the courage to not try and control everything, not say we have to be a certain way or we have to stay a certain way. And I do this video, because it's quite fun, to let go of this idea and let it out into the world to anybody who it might help. But most importantly, to remind you that if there's anything or anyone, that's really hurting you, we can let go. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we then have to say, right, that's it, I'm breaking up with you, or I'm quitting the job, or I'm not going to do this or that anymore. We can just let go. And in so doing, what we do is we say, I'm going to set myself free to re-evaluate this, find a new way of living this. So if we have a job and we let go, it doesn't necessarily mean that we walk in the next morning and we quit. It means we go in and perhaps we say to somebody, I might have to quit. I need to take some time out. Or even we just stop being so proactive. We hear that word is such a good word, isn't it? Proactive. We try and figure out all the problems before they happen. We try and get ahead of it. We do all the work. And perhaps what we can do in letting go of a role, of a job, is just say, you know what? If you have a real emergency, I'm here. But I'm actually going to slack off a bit. I'm actually going to do the least amount of work, put in the least amount of energy to this. I'm going to let go of all the things I'm trying so hard with. I'm going to let go I'm going to see what happens. And I'm going to see if I can find a different way, a new perspective, a different way of being. And the most important thing about letting go is just don't let go of yourself. Don't hurt yourself in order to hold on to things that aren't you. Because you, as Don Miguel Ruiz would say, you are the love of your own life. That's the most important thing, to take care of the love of your life, which is you. You are the love of your own life. Take care.